on, everybody out there in YouTube land? Welcome back to Franken Moto. Beautiful day. I know I say that every time, but today it is not humid, it's not hot, it's just a wonderful day to ride. As always, see that red subscribe button right down below the video. Go ahead and click on that. Click that thumbs up button as well. That helps me out a lot. If you like it, subscribe. Like I said before, if you don't. I'm cool with all of it. So, in some previous videos, I mentioned and asked for comments about whether or not people would support anything through Patreon to help charities. Got 0 responses, so the answer to that question very plainly and clearly is no. So, we're just not going to worry about that. And I'm just going to make videos, enjoy riding my bike, and if it ever makes it to a point that I can start donating, I will. Up until that point, just not going to worry about it, not going to bring it up, just going to do what I do. So, but today just happened to have I'm filming this on a Saturday, just happened to have some time where didn't have family requirements to take care of and could get out on the bike and go enjoy myself, so here we are. But my previous 2 videos were my favorite things about the bike and my dislikes about the bike, top 5s on both of those. But I would be interested to hear feedback from you guys that do watch the videos. You know, if you're one of the Bolt riders, what do you like and dislike about it? If you're not a Bolt rider, what do you ride and what do you dislike and like about yours? I just think it's fun to chat back and forth with people and just learn different things about what people do and don't like about motorcycles and things like that. I mean, that could really help about you know, my future of if I ever am in a position to get a second bike or even a 3rd bike, who knows. But what would I maybe go for? What would I like? What would I dislike? I did have a couple comments about the speedometer. Apparently there's some ranging opinions on the speedometer. I'll just say it that way. There's several people have mentioned, you know, I have problems seeing mine. Do you have problems with it? I never have had a problem with being able to see the numbers and know my speed and mileage and stuff like that. That's never been an issue on this bike. Now, I know that my understanding was that there were some older models. I say older, you know, 14, 15s, and this is a 15, but it's a later 15. But some of the 14s, my understanding was that the way they did them, it did kind of fade away. You couldn't see it in the sunlight. I've never had that issue. I think I did mention that I replaced, of course, this with the black. It did have chrome on it around on that ring that goes around it. That was the only issue I ever had. The chrome ring and the chrome gas cap. On a day like today, you can probably see the sun glaring off the glossy black up there on the headlight. It would shine right back at me off of the chrome ring and the chrome cap, and that would affect my vision. I would have to position myself in a way where it would kind of not be right in my eyes. But I've never had an issue seeing it. So I tried to respond to everybody who commented. If I did miss you, I greatly apologize. But that's I wanted to go ahead and give an opinion on that in this video as well. But you know, I'll tell you what, I know it's not motorcycle related, but it's college football season. You know, see that WKU on the front, or I'm sorry, on the back of that GMC in front of me. I live in Bowling Green, which is where Western Kentucky University is. Although I do support them and I hope they do well in their football endeavors this season. I, surprisingly to most, am not a UK fan. Not in basketball or football, either way. I lived in Nashville, Tennessee for quite a while, and while I was in Tennessee, even though Vanderbilt's right there, and there are a lot of fans for Vanderbilt right there in Nashville, for me, everything I was seeing was all Tennessee Vols. And even when the basketball program was not good at all, I became a Vols fan. and we're still trying to work on improving that football program. I do know that today's game, again, I'm filming this on Saturday. As I left out in today's game, they were winning big against Chattanooga, but it's been a struggle. They lost the first 2 games of the season, which is obviously not what a SEC Power Conference team that's wanting to show improvement is looking for by any stretch. And really, both games they lost, no disrespect to the teams that won those games, they deserved to win them because they were the better team that day. But we as the Tennessee Volunteers should not have lost to those teams. But college football, I had a job for a long time that I worked every Saturday. And I'm not complaining about that, I'm just saying that's just the way it was. And I've since moved on from that position, and my job now, I have Saturdays off. So for the longest time, I wasn't able to watch college football. And people would say, oh, do you watch college football? I was like, nah, I just can't get into it. Well, what it was is I was watching teams because it was late at night after I'd gotten home from work and stuff like that. Teams that weren't anywhere near me, it was hard to get invested in them. Once I stopped working on Saturdays, where I could watch the games earlier in the day that more fits the area that I live in, man, college football is a ton of fun. I mean, you want to talk about a bunch of people that a bunch of young men that you can tell work very hard and they care about winning and losing. I mean, that's college football to the T, man. And I don't mean T for Tennessee, although I am a UT fan. But I don't know, I just wanted to chat about that. I really enjoy it. I'd be interested also to hear, where are you guys from? Who do you like as far as college football or college sports in general? What pro teams do you like? I'm not I like the NFL, but I'm not a huge NFL fan like I used to be. I've kind of shied away from it in recent years. I'm a huge Major League Baseball fan, and I have in the last, again, since I stopped working on the weekends and it's more accessible to me, I've become a very, very big Cincinnati Reds fan. You're probably thinking to yourself, holy crap, man, talk about liking 2 loser teams. Well, in some ways, I guess that's true, but maybe I'm a fan of the underdog, I don't know. But I just thoroughly enjoy watching the Reds play. Where I live at, I get to watch every game. The network that all their games airs on is available where I'm at, so I can watch every one of them. I can get really invested in them and enjoy them. So, but they didn't get to see the outcome of the game last night. Last I saw, they were leading 4-3, and it was like the 7th inning. I need to look it up, see if they won, but I haven't taken the time to do that today. I've had other things going on, but hopefully the Reds did win. I mean, they're out of the race this year. That's all fine and dandy. It's going to happen. They're a team that's on the way up, not the way down, so thoroughly enjoy that. But so I don't know, just kind of don't really have a topic today, so just kind of giving some random thoughts about sports. Tell you what, another not as random of a thought, but I mentioned earlier about getting opinions on what you guys ride and what you like and don't like. Something I've become extremely interested in over the past, well, really just several weeks. KTM, of course, makes their line of Duke motorcycles, D-U-K-E. And now I'm a smaller rider. I've attempted to sit on one of the KTM Super Dukes, which is their 1290cc sport bike, naked bike. And although they're cool as hell, I'm just my inseam just isn't enough to handle that. But I'll tell you what, for something to cruise around in town on that's a little less bulky than this is, although don't get me wrong, this is not a huge bike, it's fine, but maybe it's a little quieter, not too quiet because I don't want to be getting run over, but maybe a little quieter, just a little easier to zip around town on. The little 390 Duke, man, those things are really cool looking as far as the aesthetics, the styling, the bodywork, stuff like that. The trellis frame, you know, they're not a big high horsepower bike. It's a 390, you know. I think the actual CCs is 373 or something like that. But I mean, they've got enough power to be able to run, you know, 75, 80 on the highway without just having it completely redlined, which is nice. Not that you take it out on a long cruise, but as far as like an in-town bike that maybe you can cruise back and forth to work on if you're not doing like a long commute, you're just commuting through town, I'm highly interested in one of those. They're not real expensive. They look like a ton of fun. There's some pretty cool aftermarket parts out there for them. As far as like exhaust and some tuners and different things like that, I think it'd be really cool. And because it's the smaller CC bike, obviously they're not quite as big, so me having a smaller inseam, I'd still be able to handle the bike with comfort as far as stopping. So I don't know, I'm pretty stoked about it. I've kind of narrowed in that if I'm ever in a position, and I'm not right now, but if I'm ever in a position where I can get a second motorcycle, you know, I like variety, so I'm kind of wanting something a little sportier. I think that may be where I go. If you get a chance, look them up. They got this really awesome TFT dash on them that's digital like this, but it's full color. You got controls over on this side to be able to move through the different options and stuff like that. You can connect your phone to it through Bluetooth, and if somebody's calling you, you can see who's calling and control your music and all that stuff. I mean, it's you know, just like any other motorcycle out there, there's stuff out there about the issues on them, but you know, there's people that talk about the issues on these, just like me and my dislikes talking about the bearings and the death wobble. So you're gonna have your ups and your downs no matter what motorcycle you're looking at or like or thinking of buying. What you have to do is weigh the options of, is it important enough, or is it a big enough issue that you think you can't have it or don't want it, maybe. You know, again, I'd love to hear some of your opinions on the other bikes out there on the market and what you think of them. I think that'd be pretty cool. But well, I know this is not a super long video, and again, I really didn't have a topic for the day. I just kind of wanted to get out and ride the bike, make sure I got a video out, say hello to everybody. To everybody who has already subscribed to the channel, I want to give you a huge thank you. If you have not and you like any of the videos that you've seen, go ahead and click on that subscribe button. If you don't like them, don't click on the subscribe button. But if you can, always give a thumbs up. And I love hearing from people. I think it's fun to chat back and forth. So, you know, leave me some comments about the things that I talked about on here today. You know, whether it's college, pro sports, or the type of motorcycle you ride, what you like or don't like, and even things like the little Super Dukes. Or, I'm sorry, not Super Dukes. That's the big bike, but the little Duke motorcycles that I'm interested in. I want to go a little bigger than a Grom, but something small enough to just bebop around town. Let me know what you think about that stuff. If you have one, you know, things of that nature. Anyway, until then, keep the shiny side up and get out and live your life on two wheels, because that's always the best way to live. Talk to you next time.